Hello, everyone. I've watched several YouTube videos. Also, have read a lot of comments, and that I feel like, let's be real here. I want to say that it's really heartbreaking stuff, okay? But I also want everyone to know that it does not determine your self-worth, okay? Your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. That author is unknown that made that statement. For years, I've noticed and I've wondered about my own worth. Yep, I have. In an abusive relationship for 12 years and getting out of that, needing a lot of prayer and God to open my eyes, and constantly saying the serenity prayer over and over and over again. I didn't know who I was. I didn't have self-esteem. I didn't even know how to feel. I didn't know how to feel. So I'm going to be really straight, honest with everyone, and give you a little bit of insight about me. So, after my abusive marriage and so much I just don't even want to talk about in this video, then having to go through extreme pain and trials and tribulations that I endured with my own children alienated from me. You tend to blame yourself for a lot of things, and it's not you. It's not. So I want to say in this video that all of this made me think, and watching some YouTubers making videos about being really hurt about stuff, and then I see some comments, very hurtful stuff, and I wonder, like, do you know your worth? Honestly, self-worth is how you value yourself. It's not based on what others think of you, or the things you have or haven't accomplished. It comes from within. But it's easy to forget that our worth isn't determined by outside forces. We constantly measure our worth, but we're often not aware of how we do it. Sometimes it's by our careers, our appearance. Other times by our abusive relationships. A lot of things that we try and compare ourselves to. Just be authentic. Be who you are. We constantly measure our worth, but we're often not aware of how we do it. When it comes to measuring self-worth, many people use something just as unreliable as a random stick. You may not even consciously think about what type of stick you use to measure your self-worth, but it's likely that deep down, after all, when you feel like you're measuring up, you feel good about yourself. But when you feel as though you've fallen short, your self-esteem likely plummets. So often, the stick, in air quotations, we are using to measure our worth exists outside our control. We measure our worth based on all the X's on our to-do list. The number of matches on our dating app, for instance, or the likes on our YouTube videos, or people retweeting our tweets, or the list can just go on and on. We tend to notice how our sense of self-worth affects us, also known as those "I'm not good enough" feelings. But we rarely stop and think about how we are doing our calculations. We notice our sense of self-worth affects us, but we rarely stop and think about how we are doing our calculations. How we measure our worth affects the kind of life we live. Did you know that? And when we let other people and things determine our worth, it sets us up for a roller coaster of emotions. That's why the best measuring stick we can use is one that we control. Yes, we control. Use a measuring stick based on factors you can control, not the external events in your life. When you know who you are and you are pleased with the person you've become, you'll experience a sense of peace through life's inevitable ups and downs. You'll believe in yourself regardless of whether you've been fired, gone through a divorce, in a terrible marriage, or failed to get that promotion at work. When you know who you are and you are pleased with the person you've become, you'll experience a sense of peace through life's inevitable ups and downs. I've learned this lesson the hard way. Can you believe that? Yes, I have. Because I'm a people pleaser, and I'm not afraid to admit that. And I let that determine my worth for the longest time. I always felt like I had to prove myself as worthy of everyone for everything. I did things that made others happier than it made me. I did this so often that I lost track of what I valued. And that was me. Thankfully, I recently realized that this measuring stick set me up for disappointment. I decided that what made me happy mattered more than pleasing others. I'm still a work in progress, okay? I'm gonna admit that. I'm still a work in progress. But I now try to measure my self-worth based on my own sense of self rather than how other people perceive me. Because honestly, I don't care what other people think about me or how they perceive me. Because I know who I am. Instead of chasing things that temporarily boost your self-esteem, measure your self-worth by who you are at your core. When you need a reminder to detach yourself from others' self-worth, measuring sticks, I'm going to give you some stuff that's good things that don't determine your value in this world. Number one is your to-do list, okay? Crossing off items on your to-do list is a satisfying feeling, but you can't let the number of things you crossed off your list or the number of things you don't control your worth. While it's normal to feel proud of your accomplishments, basing your entire self-worth on your achievement is like building a house on an unsteady foundation. You'll need to experience constant success to feel good about yourself. And that means you'll likely avoid doing things where you could fail. Number two is your job. No matter the type of job you have or how much you love or hate it, your job doesn't define who you are as a person. your YouTube following. So what if you don't have 1 million subscribers or followers on Twitter or retweets in this digital world? It can feel like that number determines your value, but you are more complex than what anyone can see on a screen. Number 4, your age. Speaking of numbers, your age is just a number, okay? Some people may say you're too young or too old, but that's just who you are at the moment. So just be. Just be you. Number 5, your appearance. If you want to change the way you look, do it for you. And don't you do it for anyone else but for you. But know that your physical appearance shouldn't define how worthy you are. A beautiful body or a handsome face won't last forever. Did you know that? Hair loss, wrinkles, and a middle age spread can feel catastrophic for someone whose self-worth depends on their physical appearance. Number 6, other people. I'm guilty of comparing myself to others who have the same job title as me and others my age. But I've learned I have to manifest in my own lane. And so should you. Manifest in your own lane. You do you. I always say this in all my videos. You do you. And let them do them. Sometimes others may pass you on this road called life, and that's okay. We're all traveling at different speeds. Number 7, how far you can run. Ever tell yourself you'll run a mile and then beat yourself up when you weren't able to? It happens, but know that your worth comes from trying at all. Not how quickly you crush a goal, but just trying. Number 8, your grades. Maybe test freaks you out or school is just really difficult. Your grades don't determine your intelligence, and they don't measure things like your dedication and integrity. Number 9, the number of friends you have. The more friends, the merrier. No. Sometimes, but whether you have a ton of friends or just a couple, what matters is how you treat one another. Excuse me. And if you can turn to them in times of need. Number 10, your relationship status. Single schmingle. It doesn't mean you are not worthy of love or of being loved. It means you are doing you and focusing on loving yourself. Number 11, the money or lack thereof in the bank. Whether you are a billionaire or don't have much in your wallet, the amount of money you have or making doesn't define your worth. It doesn't. Going deep into debt to create a facade of wealth backfires in the end because while goods and services have monetary value, they don't reflect your value as a human being. And if someone you have to impress by the money that you want them to think you have or the car you drive and all of that, well, they're not somebody that you need in your life. They're not the right person for you. You shouldn't have to impress anyone to like you. Number 12, your likes. I'm not talking about YouTube likes, but your personal likes, such as your taste in music or movies, like what you like, whether it may be considered high art or low art. Number 13, anything or anyone but yourself. Bottom line, your worth is entirely up to you. You are worthy because you say you are worthy and because you believe it. Look within and trust that you are enough because you are enough. I'm going to say this one more time. The bottom line is this. Your worth is entirely up to you. You are worthy because you say you are worthy and because you believe it. Look within and trust that you are enough. Because honestly, guys, I don't care what anyone thinks or what people perceive me to be. I know who I am. So it doesn't faze me. But I know I have a lot of subscribers that are victims and also survivors. And it's hard when it comes to, going through a lot and then seeing a lot of things that are just, things you shouldn't have to see, or go through things and people say things about you that just aren't true, and you want to react and you want to say something. And this is my advice. I'm being totally real with all of you. Know your self-worth, okay? Because other people that put you down, they don't like who they are. It's simple as that. Other people that have to criticize and put you down, that's the reflection of who they are. That's how they feel about themselves. Because people that truly have self-esteem and know their self-worth doesn't do that. We build each other up. We don't tear each other down. God bless you and God bless your families. And I hope this video helped.